like 6 seconds from hit start streaming until I had a preview window. Like, it's never
That's
that
impressive.
fast. Yeah. Cool. I don't know if that's a good omen or a bad one, but anyway, welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Episode 405. Your once week live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff. And you are?
And I am. Oh God, no! Mute. I forgot to mute YouTube before I started, so I was hearing myself, and my brain was not getting that I need to talk.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm George from Chips and Cheese,
There you go. Thank you all so much for
also
watching.
known as Cheese.
Yes. It's cheese. It says right up there.
So speaking of, I bought some. So if any of you know me, I play D&D, and my current character's name is Humboldt Fog, which is based off of cheese. And I just bought the cheese, which is a goat cheese, which is usually not my favorite.
Yeah.
But it's actually pretty good.
Nice.
Nice. Oh, and you never guessed the price.
For cheeses, I have no idea.
No, for the thing that I showed you.
Oh, for the thing. Oh, yeah. He showed me a thing. So he's holding a thing right now, which should cue some people into what we're
which is
talking
related.
About. Yeah. Cheese bought some new pens, and he texted me over. He bought a new pair of Lamy 14K gold tipped nib pens.
Dialogue 3s, which are instead of it being a screw top, it's like a retractable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. I know those go for between like $350 and $450 a piece or something like that.
So what I was told is that the store was going out of business anyway.
Okay.
And they couldn't sell them because they were EF or extra fine nibs.
Gotcha.
So I got them for $150 for both.
A 2-pack for $150.
Yes. I'm gonna see if they're real or not.
Yeah.
When they arrive.
Yeah.
I hope that they are. But we'll have to see.
All right. Yep. Some of you know I famously held Cheese's arm behind his back and his credit card with my other hand and made him buy a nice Lamy pen in Taiwan this year. But
yes. As a replacement for this one.
Yes. Yeah.
So
anyway, thank you all so much for watching on this Wednesday night, or in podcast form, or over on Spotify, or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. We talk beer, we talk tech, we talk Homelab, servers, CPUs, all kinds of fun stuff like that. If you are new to the show, we do drink alcohol in the show. Although Cheese is joining on some late notice, so he's got some coffee in front of him. I will be drinking alcohol. And if you're drinking along with us, alcoholic or not, let us know in the chat, and we'll give some early show shout-outs as we go along. Last but not least, if you like the content you see on this channel and want to help support me in what I do, consider joining the Patreon. Link is down in the video description, and as a bonus, you'll get to join the exclusive Discord server and join the awesome community that hangs out over there throughout the week. Talk with me, all the other hosts from Talking Heads. It is a great place to come hang out. All right. And with that, since you already have your coffee, I think I'll just open my beer. So this one's nothing terribly special, although I have not had this one yet. This is the Fort George from Astoria, Oregon, home of the Goonies. This is the Mirrored Realities 7% West Coast IPA. So nice and simple here. And I will say, I got on camera with Tom Lawrence this last week. And for the first time in the history of my podcast, my guest had a better camera than I did. And so I got shamed into putting my nice camera back up instead of just using a webcam. So, Cheese, you look extra crunchy today.
Yes. If you had given me another, I had to go eat dinner and then feed my cats and do all that fun, lovely jazz. Yep. So I didn't have time to go put up the proper camera right here. So
Yep. Yeah. No, I've got the full rigs with
yeah.
cine lenses and all that jazz. So
Oh, that's in the other room.
yeah, yeah.
That's over there. Usually, I should get that out, but ugh.
So that's all right. We'll take you in any form we can get you. So nice crystal clear IPA.
Ooh, that's pretty.
That is very pretty looking. Even better in a nucleated pint glass that you can get over on craftcomputing.store. What do we got in the chat? Let's see here. Circuit Rewind Vince has an Excelsior Imperial Apple Pie Cider, 8.4%. I've had that one. It's pretty darn solid. Let's see.
Ooh, I see a barrel-aged chocolate milk stout from Boulevard Brewing. That's nice. A good one. That's a good one.
That's Rev, yes, of course. Novella has an Evil Twin Brewing CEO Marlin Quad IPA, 12% IPA.
If you're ever down here, Jeff, we have to do a live stream from a place called 8-Bit Brewing.
I'm on board.
Which has a absolutely delicious tart called the Mario Tart.
Nice.
It's good. It's great. I love it.
Say less, fam. I'll come down there just to come down there for that. Like
you'll come down to my neck of the woods.
Yeah. I mean, if I get like a Tuesday afternoon flight to San Diego, it's like $100. Like we could make that happen. Yeah. In fact, we might have to make that happen.
Yeah, one day. One day.
Maybe in December we'll make that happen, because that's about the point in which I'm begging to see sunlight, because the clouds roll in up here, and we this is like the rain has already kind of started. It started a little early this year. Usually we make it through October without like some major wind and rainstorms. They started last week, and I think we're in for a good one this year. What's a wind and
rainstorm? I don't know what these words mean.
Right. Well, see, sometimes when water evaporates, it needs to come back down, and it usually does that up near me.
Yes. All I know is heat.
Yeah. But then the plus side of that is we tend to not burn here. So
yeah.
Although that's less and less true every day.
So, actually, speaking of travel plans, have you booked for SC yet?
I have not yet.
I'm already booking meetings for SC.
Yeah.
It's kind of insane.
Yeah. We're about 3.5 weeks out from SC.
Yeah.
So, the plan is to attend supercomputing. So I should probably get a plane ticket. Yes.
You may have to stay at the same hotel, aka casino, that Andy is staying at.
Okay.
Which is about a mile or 2 miles away from the convention center, but you can just take the metro.
Yeah.
Shockingly enough, there's a metro in St. Louis.
Cities have public transit. What is this? Anyway, let's go ahead and we'll get into some of this. Where do you want to start? Obviously, we both went to the Intel event. We can talk a little bit about that, and in fact, my video for that dropped yesterday. We woke up yesterday morning or Monday morning to AWS going down.
You know what? Let's start with the AWS news, because that was pretty funny.
Okay. I like that. A lot of people woke up Monday morning to find that a lot of the internet as we know it kind of no longer existed. Many websites were down, many internal services were down, payment processors were down. Reddit was dark. So many things that we rely on kind of just didn't work for a while. For quite a long while, as it turns out. we've all seen, large outages before, but there's a disturbing trend that it's reared its head before, but we're getting like more and more stories about this particular thing that I wanted to talk about happening. And that is when the internet goes out, when AWS goes out, how do all your smart devices work?
They don't.
They don't. Why?
Because what is, local services and not having to update to the cloud every 10 seconds.
Yeah. So unfortunately you can't quite see the top line here. But AWS Outage turned smart homes into dumb boxes and sysadmins into therapists, which is just the headline of all headlines.
That's, you know what? The Reg has some of the best headlines.
Yes.
AWS error 405. Method not allowed.
Thank you, Vince.
Thank you, Vince.
Thank you, Vince, for the $20. Much appreciated. Yeah, AWS error 405. So Vince has been sending me the HTML code or the HTTP code for the episode numbers as of late. And so we're on 405 right now. So method not allowed. Although I don't know if I don't remember if he messaged me last week, because last week was 404. So
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, much of the internet was out yesterday. There were a number of things that happened to people's smart devices, though, that raised some alarms. Smart doors refused to unlock. Ovens lost schedules and wouldn't preheat, or your lights wouldn't turn off, or things like that. One of the weirdest ones was a company called 8 Sleep, which has a series of smart mattresses, because those are two words that belong together. This story gets deep. It gets deeper than a smart mattress definitely should. So there's multiple models of this mattress. In fact, I think, Dextero had a picture of one of the mattresses here. So do we have more? There's a couple of different methods in which these are smart devices. Number one is 8 Sleep mattresses are heated and cooled through a water radiator, not unlike a PC water cooler or the cooling system found in your car. It has an external tower with tubing running through the bed, and then the tower itself can either heat or cool the water and warm up or cool you down. Kind of a neat feature. I don't know if it's necessarily the way I would have done it, although I don't know if there's many other ways that you could do that, both heating and cooling within a mattress.
No, that's just about the only sane way,
the only safe way to do it. Right.
Yeah. But there's also this wonderful thing called a thermostat on the bed that you could just turn.
Yeah.
That you could, set the temperature manually.
Right.
You don't need you don't need a phone to do that.
Well, the other thing that these beds do is a la the Tempur-Pedic mattresses from years gone by. They have incline adjustments, and so you can raise and lower different pieces of the bed for incline. When AWS went down, users could no longer adjust the inclination of their mattresses, and some of them got locked in a heat-only mode, that would not turn off. So the heater engaged and there was no safety protocol to disable it, or no timer to say, hey, that's enough. There was no way for users to adjust it.
Yeah, that's totally not a potential lawsuit on the books.
Mm-hmm. But it brings back this ultimate question of why?
Because people assume that US East 1 is either will never go down, which is a bad assumption, or that it's the only zone that matters, which again is a bad assumption.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of interesting points to this. Like, I'm not saying that cloud control is inherently a bad thing. It can be.
It's nice. It's nice when I can, if I go, oh, I forgot to lock my car, I can lock my car from my phone.
Right. I can.
But I have this wonderful thing called keys.
Right.
So I don't need a cloud connected device to do it.
Right. And if your car is not cloud connected, it will still unlock the doors if you tell it to unlock the doors with the key. It will still turn on and go places if it can't reach the internet. Like, there's a certain level of functionality you expect out of appliances and utility devices like an automobile, or your house's heating system, or your smart mattress. Like, them being locked in one particular state makes them completely unusable.
Yes.
And that's exactly what happened, is beds got locked into whatever state they were in, and for multiple hours could not be reset. Could not be locally overridden. There was no...
Which is insane to me.
There's no mechanism to, hey, lay flat, turn off cooling, turn off heating. There's no mechanism for that. Another exasperated sleeper noted that 8 Sleep pumps out 16 gigabytes of data per month. Exfiltrates 16 gigabytes of data from the mattress to the command control server.
Somebody go figure out what that is in AWS ingress cost.
I hadn't even considered that.
Yeah, somebody go calculate the ingress cost on AWS for all these 8 Sleep mattresses.
Right. But this is kind of another, like, tally on the wall of, do we actually own our devices? Do we actually own the things that we purchase? Because I haven't researched this enough, but is 8 Sleep a one-time purchase and then a perpetual web connection for command control? Or is there a subscription service also required? Is this mattress heating as a service?
Google? Let's see.
But if I buy a mattress of any kind, and the company that made that mattress suddenly goes out of business, I still expect to be able to use that mattress, to use that, whatever the piece of equipment is. When Google killed Nest, my Nest thermostat should still work as a manual thermostat on my wall, even if the web-connected service goes away. You're holding your head. Oh, no.
Why? What?
I was right, wasn't I?
It's a $5,000 bed with a up to $33 per month. Oh my God.
Called it.
What?
When did Cisco start making mattresses?
You know what? At least Cisco isn't this bad. Like, Jesus.
I have said this multiple times. Like, I used to one of my primary roles was designing networks for companies, for businesses. And I made a lot of money by ripping Cisco out of places. Because people would come up, people would have, 50 access points from Cisco, which means they have 2 managed controllers that are multiple thousands of dollars per year to license. You would buy these $600 access points and then pay $20 per access point per month to be able to still use that access point. And I went, for what? It's a Wi-Fi point. And so we would come in and we would get a Cisco quote to replace all their Cisco gear for something like $40,000 plus a maintenance fee of, $1,000 a month or $600 a month or whatever it was for this particular site. And then we would go out and we would get a Ubiquity quote, and it would be something like $17,000, no licensure.
So I know that my college went from we had the Denverton bug, which just killed tons of Cisco switches. So we had to go and get those replaced by Cisco, and then the college decided the next year to rip it all out and replace it with HP Aruba. So yeah, but
it's okay. I don't know if you're aware of this one. Do you want to see my favorite Cisco recall and bug fix of all time? Cisco had to recall a line of switches because if you bought a category cable with a flex boot on the end of it, it hit the reset button. Here's a picture.
Oh my God.
If you had one with a proud flex boot on it, when you plugged in port 1, it would press and hold the reset button. It would wipe the firmware. That's my favorite of all time. But coming back to the AWS question and the cloud connected question, like, I'm not saying that cloud connected services are useless. Like, it's nice to be able to go to Home Depot and buy a smart light bulb and screw it into my my entryway light, and then have that light work on a schedule, and it turns on at a certain time and turns off at a certain time. You can adjust the color temperature, or you can set it for orange for Halloween or whatever, and do that all from your phone, right? But then if that company goes out of business, I still expect there to be an offline application that I can still adjust that service with. Otherwise, it's just a light bulb.
Or at least default to being
a light bulb.
A 4,000K light bulb.
Right. Yeah. At least, if it doesn't have a configuration, you can reset it and then it'll turn on and it'll work as a light, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's, I think, the basics of what my expectations should be.
Yeah.
And sorry, I want to give credit to this one. Budney chimes in and says, so if I buy 3 of these mattresses, can I have a high availability cluster?
Let's ask the Seth folks.
Yeah, but if I buy a $5,000 mattress and that company suddenly ceases to exist because maybe people got tired of paying $33 a month for a mattress subscription service, at the very least, there should be some offline controls for that on the giant tower and control unit that exists next to the bed. There should be some basic functionality, or maybe just like a handheld remote. And so help me God, if it's a capacitive touch remote, give me a physical button.
Yeah. With, batteries.
Yeah. I've gotten to the I don't buy. And what's funny, I don't know many people in this industry, like the tech industry, who buy cloud connected devices. I certainly don't. I don't have a single smart assistant in my house. I don't have a Dot. I don't have Okay Google.
Nope. Yeah.
Nope.
Okay, so I have a little funny story about that.
Yeah.
So my car has Android Automotive, which is separate than Android Auto.
Mm-hmm.
And I've went okay Google. What I asked it something.
Yeah.
And then it gave me an answer, and then it's like, if you'd like to hear about the news, just say okay Google, and it activated okay Google by it saying okay Google. And it's a mode that I can get into like fairly often, and it just makes me laugh every time. So
yeah,
that's pretty funny, but
yeah, no, I won't buy devices that are dependent on subscription services. I hate to keep bringing it up, but GM is going down the path of not enabling Android Auto or CarPlay for their cars anymore, and instead tying you into OnStar premium service for navigation and connectivity when we already have devices in our pockets that are 100 times better. And not to skip ahead in the news, but GM is also bringing Google Gemini-powered AI assistants to cars on most of their models in 2026, while also eliminating your ability to use CarPlay and Android Auto from your phone. Because what could be simpler than synchronizing contacts between two dissimilar devices instead of just using the device in your pocket to access everything it needs?
But why?
But how else would we get $30 billion in customer subscriptions to OnStar to eke more revenue out of our already customers that they promised their shareholders 5 years ago? Clock is ticking on that. And they already said they don't want OnStar stupid. Because OnStar's kind of, they have crash detection, and that's about the only thing that people want anymore, but they're not willing to pay $40 a month for it. So we got to give them something. I know. Why don't we take away the ability to use their cell phones? That'll surely make customers out of them. No, it'll just make me not buy a GM vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so dumb.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, the automotive industry is about 7 years behind the rest of the industry for making everything a subscription service, even though it shouldn't be. I found out this cool Adobe hack because apparently I was on an Adobe month-by-month plan, but it was the annual month-by-month plan, so you pay month-by-month, but it's a one-year contract if you don't cancel in time. Well, I didn't cancel in time, and so when I finally got off Adobe products, they wouldn't let me cancel. Well, I was signed up through PayPal, and so I just disconnected my PayPal. Now they have no method to get money from me.
Nice.
Off Adobe.
Nice. I unfortunately am still beholden to Adobe because Photoshop is just so nice.
Have you tried Affinity Photo 2 yet?
No. I've heard it's decent, but I'm honestly not good at this whole creating thumbnail thing.
Right.
And the less I have to change about that workflow, the better.
Yeah. I will say, I finally got off of Photoshop by simply sitting down and learning for a day how to use Affinity. And some of the tools are named differently. A lot of them are very the same. It's a lot of the same workflow. They finally integrated a similar tool for like AI object detection. And so you can automatically select objects now and then cut them out, rotoscope them out, and which is what I do for a lot of thumbnails, is you give that background color pop and things like that.
I basically just copy what you do.
Right, exactly.
Or that way. I'm muted.
But yeah, they finally have an AI object select tool in Affinity that works very, very well. Cyano says, I was trying to get Affinity, but it seems they pulled the purchase link off their site. Doesn't seem right, but let's see. Menu. Store. No, that's store and account.
So,
Help.
Harley,
okay.
I will say, having a car with the maps in the cluster is really nice if you just need to glance down and see what your route is doing instead of looking over here. I know that's not a big thing for some people, but for me, it's honestly really nice as a convenience. But
yeah,
I get that that's not for everybody.
Jeff, the upcoming electric Dodge Charger will require an additional purchase of power crystal to enable the highest power mode of the motor you already pay like $80,000 for. Yeah, I will never pay to unlock a feature or higher performance out of something. And in fact, if you offer a higher performance mode on an electric motor, just assume I'm not going to purchase your car from you. If I'm purchasing the hardware, I expect to be able to use the hardware. Period. End of discussion. That's what I bought. By the way, this has been going on for a long time. Oh, let me pull up a photo real quick because I have a story.
Ooh.
So some of you know that. Let me download this. There we go. Open with Firefox. Some of you know that I have been looking for this particular PC for quite some time. And I touched this PC for the first time in over 20 years this weekend. This is this story has a purpose, okay? This is a compact Presario CDTV 520 made in 1994. It is a all-in-one DOS 622 and Windows 3.1 desktop. It's a 486 DX processor. This one even had the 12 megabyte of RAM upgrade that we paid significantly a high amount of money for.
I thought all you needed was 640K.
Right. Yeah, what could you ever do with more than 640K? Bill Gates, 1988.
Now, let me just turn to my, 8 gig stick of RAM over here.
Right. That's all you have on your desk?
Oh, no, I have more. It's what's right there.
I've got a 4 terabyte NVMe on my desk right now.
I have some Octane.
Yeah. Anyway, this particular PC I had to ask them about. And I considered walking away with this PC. It's $550. It's not an inexpensive retro PC because these are incredibly rare, but this was my first PC that was like mine. Okay.
So like your first PC or
my first PC that I had in my room when I was a kid. And very quickly after this, I also built a 486 DX2. But this was the first one. I had a Macintosh LC2 before this, and then I upgraded to this. Anyway, compact Presario CDTV 520.
Mm-hmm.
The model name has some hints about it. CD-TV.
Yeah,
Okay.
so CD player, I assume.
CD-ROM, yes.
Yep.
Quad speed CD-ROM.
Okay.
Okay.
Which back in '94, quad speed was
That was up
pretty
there. I
spicy.
mean, any CD-ROM drive was up there, but a quad
Yeah.
speed was nice, right? TV doesn't just reference the form factor; it also references the
TV
fact
input.
TV tuner.
Yep. Yep.
It had a Windows capable TV tuner in it. This one was missing the TV tuner. And those are even more rare.
Yeah.
So I said, so I looked down and I said, does this one have the TV tuner? It's a CD TV. It better have the TV tuner. And he goes, it does not. And I went, someone yanked it. Someone pulled it. I said, that's unfortunate. Because there's another model of this called the CDS 520, which was only...
Which doesn't have
the TV tuner.
Okay.
Right. They're physically identical, but the CDTV 520 came with the TV tuner. Here's where this story crosses into my rant about if you sell me hardware and I have to pay an upgrade for it, I'm not going to buy that piece of hardware.
Mm-hmm.
When my dad purchased this PC, they had the CDS 520 and they had the CDTV 520. And I think the CDTV 520 was like $200 or $300 more for what was like a $1,400 or $1,500 computer. He wanted to buy the CDS. They didn't have those in stock at the moment. They only had the CDTV. Mm-hmm. And he goes, well, I'm not going to pay the extra money because I don't want the hardware. And they said, well, let's do it this way. What if we sell you the PC, but with the CDS, but without the software for the TV tuner? So we'll sell you the CDTV model, but with only the CDS software package. And so the TV tuner won't work, and we'll sell it to you for the CDS price. And he goes, that works for me, because whether it has the TV tuner or it doesn't, doesn't matter. So for years, we had the CDTV 520 with the physical TV tuner, but without the software to do it. And this is years before internet and you know, all that kind of jazz. Somewhere around, God, I want to say 2000, maybe 2001. We were looking at getting rid of this and possibly like just, you know, donating it, or like in 2001, who wants a PC from 1994? And so my dad contacted Compaq and got them to send him a recovery disk, and the recovery disk came with the TV tuner software.
It was for the
and I said, no, we're keeping this now, and so we kept it. And then in 2003, I gave it to my at the time girlfriend, and that's the last time I ever saw that PC. But yeah, no, it's like they wanted extra money to enable the TV tuner, and so they sold it to us at the CDS price point. But yeah, no, for the first time in...
Actually, I will say that was probably pretty savvy of the folks trying to sell the system.
Yeah.
Because realistically, you're probably... Yeah,
that was from... I want to say Future Shop in Eugene, Oregon is where we bought this thing at. Future Shop's way before your time.
Well, no. So I know that our first PC that we bought as a family was a Gateway all-in-one with a Pentium 4, and it was from Circuit City.
Okay.
So I still know what a Circuit City is. Or was, I should say.
Oh, God. Yeah, we call them the weird-shaped REIs around here. There's also one in Springfield that is now a Walmart neighborhood market.
That's okay. So Paul Blair in chat says mine's in the A Open AX4B-533 tube, which, if you guys don't know, is a vacuum tube motherboard. Vacuum tube. Hopefully my camera doesn't have a fit. Let's see. Can I get it closer?
Oh, there. Okay. Yeah, there you go. You got a vacuum tube amp on your desk. Yeah, Circuit City had the weird pickup area for your purchases. Yeah, you can always tell the old Circuit City buildings because they still have that drive-through on the side.
Interesting. No, but
you could order online or order over the phone and then back your car in to like this little tiny receiving dock, and they would walk your purchases out to you.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting. But no. So yeah, vacuum tube amp. But yeah.
Antoine says, too bad the tuner was missing. Yeah, and the TV tuners are even harder to find. There's been one CDTV 520 on eBay for about the last 2 or 3 years, but the dude wants $2,000 for it. And I'm not willing to pay that. I don't even know if I was willing to pay the $550 for an incomplete CDTV 520. But man, I want one. I'll continue searching. I'll keep looking. But it was super cool to see it. It was really cool to see it. The other interesting thing about that PC was not just that it had a TV tuner in it, or that it had a CD-ROM drive, or that it was an all-in-one VGA Windows 3.1 machine. It shipped with not Program Manager as the shell for Windows 3.1, but as a piece of software from Xerox, as they always pop into early GUI interfaces.
Xerox is such a weird
company, right? They have a program called TabWorks. Let me see if I can pull up any. There we go. This is the interface for TabWorks. There we go. So instead of your standard Windows Program Manager, it brings up literally like a 3-ring binder with tabs for all of your different programs. And this was the shell for Windows 3.1 for Compaq. It took me decades I finally found someone who found an install disk and uploaded it to archive, because there were demo versions of this available, but not the actual like raw installer. But I finally found a copy of the raw installer. So I do have a version of DOSBox with Windows 3.1 with TabWorks installed that I can like reminisce about. Anyway,
so I'm thinking AMD news.
I'm thinking some AMD news, and then a beer refill, and then we'll dive into some Clearwater Forest and yeah. So AMD this week. Well, not even AMD. It's been leaked that AMD is possibly preparing an update to its what architecture? Granite Ridge. Oh, that's right. To its Granite Ridge architecture, Hi, Cheese. Hi, buddy. They're planning on launching a new Granite Ridge CPU, which, for those who don't know, is Zen 5 Ryzen 9000. And is this a low-end chip? Is this like a 9400? Is this no, this is a new flagship chip. This is a new big dog. 9950 X3D 2.
So, one, I don't believe that name for a second. And two, I don't think that if this does come to market, I don't think this is going to be a consumer part. I think this is going to be an Ep.405 part.
I think it's just crazy enough to be a consumer gaming part.
Nah.
I think it is. I think you underestimate the 1% of crazies out there who are just crazy enough.
I'm not underestimating the... No. I think AMD does. So there's only two ways that this product would ever come to market. And
you spun me around the other way. I think you're right. I think AMD underestimates the gaming market, and you're right. They never play it right. They never play a hand when they have it.
It's not even playing it right. I don't think that they think that people would buy it even for $1,000.
I think it would be $1,000. I think you're spot on.
But I think people would still buy it at $1,000. Though the way that this could maybe hit.
So let's back up a second. The rumor is that AMD is prepping a 9950 X3D 2. So the 9950 X3D is a Zen 5 chip with two 8-core chiplets on it, Zen 5 chiplets, one of which is your standard 8-core chiplet, 8-core 16-thread Zen 5, 5.8 gigahertz boost clock. The other chiplet is the 3D Vcache stack that games love. And so that is what gets you your extra gaming performance. And that only has a 5.6 gigahertz boost, but because of the such low latency of that 3D Vcache acceleration, and the additional amount of cache, because that's, 140 megs of cache or something like that between the two?
It would be
160? Yeah.
So it's 96 per compute per CCD plus Vcache chiplet.
Right.
And then the second chiplet adds another 32 for a total of 128 megs of L3.
Okay.
On a 9950 X3D.
Gotcha. Which,
funnily enough, is right here.
Yeah. Mine is on the PC we're streaming on right now. But the rumored X3D 2 would put 3D Vcache on both chiplets.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something that AMD gaming fanboys and gaming enthusiasts have been asking ever since the 3D Vcache came out on dual chiplet processors with the 5950 X3D, 5900 X3D, 7900 X3D, all of the modern X3D processors. People have been asking for it, and I think there is a crazy segment who would absolutely spend $1,000 on one.
So, in my opinion, this is probably going to be an Ep.405 PX, Ep.4005 system. Or, if you remember, the only way that this would ever come to a client-like market is in the same form that the Intel Core i9 9990XC did, if you remember that chip.
Are you sorry, Intel has done extreme editions quite a few times. Are you talking the i7 990 or are you talking the 9990?
No, the i9 9990XC.
Okay, gotcha.
What this was a 14-core, 28-thread Skylake X part that clocked up to 5.1 gigahertz on its boost clock. the way that you could get this chip, the only way you could get this chip was through an OEM vendor.
Yep.
And it was very limited supply.
Yep.
The only way that I see AMD doing a dual V cache at 9950X3D is with a OEM only version.
I don't know. I think we should make some phone calls and convince a couple of people that we know.
I've tried.
Well, now that a rumor is out there, you need to make this a box product.
The thing is, it too late in the cycle?
I don't think so.
Because Zen 5 has been out for over a year now. So,
yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah, is it too late in the cycle?
I don't think for an X3D chip it's ever too late. That's the one qualifier that I think.
And I see in chat somebody says, who is it? Oh, William Paul says they're not above dunking on Intel. Thing is, they don't need to dunk on Intel because they already have.
Right.
I don't see a why here. And
neither do I, but I see a lot of want. I see a lot of want for this particular processor.
I see want in the Ep.405 realm. I don't see it here.
I see it from all of the more money than brains crowd who already bought 5090s and go, my 9950X3D is holding me back because it only has Vcache on one of the CCDs.
So
my Zen 5 16 core is bottlenecking my 5090. You know I'm right, and that pisses you off. I know it does.
Actually, so
you know I'm right.
There's a rant I want to do that involves another content creator who you know. And he made a video recently, and it makes me want to pull my hair out because it's like, why did you ever publish this?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the appropriate place to have that, but I think YouTube may have just. Did YouTube just die?
No, it's still good for me. No dropped frames. No.
Okay, because my YouTube just died on me.
Oh, weird.
Huh.
Usually once per stream, Chrome will crash on me during the broadcast. That's a thing that usually happens.
There it is. Okay, I just had to open a new tab. Okay.
Okay.
Sure, Firefox. But yeah, I don't know if that rant is appropriate for the stream or not.
Yeah. Maybe for the after party we can rant about that.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. If you want to hear that rant, join the after party.
Yeah, join the after party on the Discord, which you can get access to via the Patreon. Link is in the video description. I charge for my Patreon because it's a moat around the castle. It keeps the trolls at bay.
You're building a cooler moat?
Well, I have an unlimited supply of water under my feet, so I might as well put it to work.
Anyway.
Yep.
Well, why don't you go grab that beer?
Sorry, Zeus chimes in and says Cheese's 100 meg switch can't handle the live stream.
Where is that? Somewhere. Oh, it's here. With the thing stripped out of it.
All right.
Stripped it out. It's not even in production anymore.
All right. So I promised Cheese that I was going to open a special beer on the stream, so I'm going to go grab that. So I will be back momentarily.
And while Jeff is off and can't hear me, any questions you guys have for me? Dang it, Vince. I promise you, the Switch is not in production anymore. It's a 1G Switch right there. Okay. Best kind of cheese is, I still think, is cheddar. Like I said at the top of the stream, I just had a goat cheese called Humboldt Fog from Cypress Grove, which is honestly pretty good. I actually really like that. Zeus, my perspective on the Craft Computing Clearwater Forest video was I helped write part of it. I helped Jeff with the scripting, so I went and I helped him with that. GNTL Stone says the most exciting thing at Intel Tech Days that you can talk about. Either the Fab Tour or where did I put mine? It was right here. Where did I put it? Where's my Lego? There it is. This thing.
I got one of those.
Hey, mine's better because I have the orange.
I saw the orange, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Zeus, I am not an expert in CPU architecture in any way.
So I have a beer to unbox.
What beer is that? The zoom is so washed,
yes,
like so.
So you'll recognize the tab as soon as I get it off.
Okay. So it's Bourbon County Barrel Stout.
It is Bourbon County Stout. This is the Bourbon County Stout 2022 30th Anniversary Edition. Let me read as follows. Where is there we go. In 1992, Frederick Booker Noe II, sixth-generation master distiller of James M. Beam Distilling Company, fundamentally changed the whiskey industry forever. A tour de force that indelibly made his mark in history by launching the Small Batch Bourbon County Collection, or Small Batch Bourbon Collection. Inspired by a 200-year-old tradition, Basil Hayden, Knob Creek, Bakers, and of course Booker's marked the beginning of a new chapter elevating and transforming bourbon forever. Like siblings in a family, each expression brings their own personality and nuance for every type of drinker. This is your Bourbon County Stout, aged in, I believe it was for something like 9 months each.
Oof.
In Knob Creek, Booker's, Bakers, and Basil Hayden barrels.
So a total of 3 years aged in barrels, at minimum.
Yes.
That's going to be delicious.
Yes.
Totally not jealous at all whatsoever.
And if you look in chat, Novella is opening the same bottle. We've been conspiring, and then I believe in the after party, Skull's going to join us as soon as he gets home and open his bottle. So, oh my god!
Did you just smell it?
It's down here.
Okay, what are you getting?
Almost barley wine-esque.
So I wasn't wrong when I said barley wine.
I mean, this is just Bourbon County Stout. Like, it's there. This is not the barley wine. This is just the stout.
Yes, I know, but I'm making a joke about
Yeah. That looks like new motor oil.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the stouts...
That's pretty.
Yeah. A lot of the stouts will say, wow, you should change your oil if it looks like this. This looks like oil that I'd put into a car.
Yeah.
Flat as flat can be.
Mm.
I mean, just one layer of bubbles across the surface.
Yep.
Single layer. Very sweet smelling. Very sweet.
Surprising.
Yeah. Very, very sweet. Lot of bourbon.
Yeah.
A lot of bourbon in that smell.
Probably lots of vanilla, of course.
More, think warmer. Think maple, butterscotch.
Interesting.
Not necessarily vanilla.
So almost Irish.
Maybe leaning a little that direction, yeah.
Interesting. And for the first taste? Okay, Jeff is out in heaven.
I am so glad I don't have to share this with anyone. I
think he may have to now change his pants.
That is way thinner than I expected. But not in a bad way. Like, normally, like, these bourbon barrel stouts, especially Bourbon County, they're thick and viscous and almost chewy. They are so in there. This is actually, like, fairly thin-bodied.
That's unique.
Mm-hmm. But I still kind of want to chew it.
Interesting.
Yeah, a little bit thinner bodied. By the way, this has been so I had my fridge obviously behind me that I used to keep a lot of my nice bottles in. A lot of my boxed beer, though, like I had 3 or 4 different variants of Bourbon Counties. Those have been up on the shelf behind me. Because this office stays fairly cool throughout the year. I'm in a 5-foot deep daylight basement. And so for aging beer, it's perfect. It sits at like 70 degrees year round with no variation. And so sitting it up at the top, it just kind of hangs out, and it's exactly where you want to age it. That's where this box has been for the last 2 years. Almost 3 years. I think it's almost 3 years now I've had this box. Because I believe, I'm pretty sure it was Skull who sent me this box. I'm almost positive, although I do forget. I think it was Skull who sent me this box. I'll need to confirm that. So if someone else sent me the box, please speak up. But because I want to give you credit. But as soon as I received it, I put it up there, and I went, it's going to sit up there for a while. Harley says from down Periscope, whiskey, it thins out the mix. One of my favorite movies of all time.
So, the Legos.
The Lego. Yes. Lego.
Lego
is already
tell
plural.
Your chat,
it is either Lego or Lego bricks, not Legos.
It's Legos. I'm calling it Legos. I don't care.
I will tell you, I got 10 comments in my video that said, Jeff, you can't say Lego. It's not official Lego brand. To which I can say, hand me a Kleenex spray some Lysol on it,
or go search Google.
Yeah, go Google your answer. Generic brick toy doesn't get the clicks that Lego does. Oh, and by the way, I also featured genuine Lego in the video because I also built my own amalgam of an AMD EPYC CPU, which was official Lego. So there was Lego in the video, so blow me.
It may have been John Jay that sent you that bottle.
It might have been John Jay. You're right.
John Jay does send some spectacular gifts. I will say that.
Okay. I couldn't remember who sent it. Skull is usually my hookup for Bourbon County. John Jay is usually my hookup for Treehouse and other delectable things. Well, thank you, John Jay. Yeah. Novella says it is thin, but lots of bourbon flavor. Yeah, I'm getting more bourbon than anything else.
So now I Zeus asked what my opinion on your video for Clearwater Forest was, and I, unbeknownst to Zeus, I actually helped with the scripting for that. So.
I even shouted you out in the video description. I said special thanks to Chips
and
Cheese.
Did you? I did notice that.
I said special thanks to Chips and Cheese for technical consultation. Because this has been one of the more technical write-ups that I've done for a review in a long time, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing anything. And so I did run this one by Cheese as a second set of eyes. And basically you said spot on your opinions, tweak this fact over here. Like you were 90% this way, knock it down. Okay, cool. But your opinion is still 100% valid. And so thank you for looking over the script of that. I genuinely appreciate it.
No problem.
But Clearwater Forest, Panther Lake, Intel 18A, lot to go over. I obviously have thoughts on, like, my video wasn't really on any of the architecture, performance, hey, is Intel back or anything like that. It was more of a direction of the company video. Is Intel going the right direction? Which is a great question, and I don't know. And that's going to be a question for people who make a lot more money than I do. But I wanted to make a couple of points with that video. Number one, for the first time in over half a decade, Intel has a competitive fab. At least as long as the yields come out, which is, I don't think they would have held this event with a fab tour and saying we are already producing in mass with release in January if the yields weren't good. So I think Intel has a competitive fab. 18A is up and running. They are past validation steps. They are on to actually creating retail products at this point for release in January. I think that's where we're at. And I think that deserves praise, accommodation, whatever, because good turnaround, Intel. Because you did not have a competitive fab for years. I also wanted to point out in the video that Intel, since 2022, has not publicly released a roadmap. Which is exactly why my opinion fell the way that it did. I don't know that this is necessarily the direction that Intel wants to go architecturally for their own internal CPU business. I believe this was a show of force or a show of, hey, we can compete with TSMC and Samsung in fab and production and state-of-the-art manufacturing capabilities. And it just so happens that the day that I was finalizing my script and my opinion piece for that video, Microsoft announced, yes, we are in fact tapping Intel 18A to produce what is it, Myra 2, their AI processor.
Maya.
Maya, thank you.
So when I was giving you advice, I tried to leave my opinion off to center left.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because or off to sorry, stage left.
Right, right.
I tried to leave it off here.
Yeah.
And for this discussion, I'm going to leave Fab off to stage right. Because I want to talk about product for right now.
Sure.
And you were there.
I was there.
You were there for what happened.
I was there. No.
And you know what happened when they showed Clearwater Forest, the slide.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's get into some specifics, because I also left that aspect out of my thing because I thought that was just getting too into the weeds, because this wasn't really a product video. This was a fab and maybe a competitive product, but that's kind of neither here nor there for what I was trying to get out, in my opinion. But let's talk about the product. Let's talk about Clearwater Forest. Intel released a lot of slides. They showed us a lot of slides when they were going over the nitty-gritty for Clearwater Forest. And just so everyone is on the same page of what we're talking about, this is a brick model of Clearwater Forest. This is Intel's newest efficiency core, Darkmont core-based, 288 core, 288 thread, Xeon chip. That is socket and spec compatible with Xeon 6. This is Xeon 6 Plus. So it'll work in the existing 69 and 6700 socket systems. And they got on stage and they said, hey, 1.9x performance gains over the previous generation Sierra Forest product. And we went, wow, that's big. And they said, yeah, we're increasing the core count from 144 to 288. And all of us looked at each other and went, that's not accurate. We sat here a year and a half ago, and you announced a 288 core Sierra Forest product.
I have pictures of it.
We both have pictures of it. I was among the first outside of Intel to hold the 288 core Sierra Forest, and it was handed to me by Pat Gelsinger. I know it exists.
And I know that they ship, even though it technically was not an OEM, a full release SKU stack, they did ship it to cloud service providers.
They did. We'll get to that in a second. So we said, hey, Intel, what the hell? You already released a 288 core product, but your only comparisons for Clearwater Forest are pointing at 144 core product, which we know was there. But what about this other one? And they went, well, it was stream partners only. And I went, really? Because I can rent that CPU at bare metal right now from a cloud provider. So if you won't give us the benchmarks, we'll go benchmark it. And they said, oh, where can you get that? And I said, name one of a dozen places. I know where I can go benchmark a 288 core Sierra Forest. And they went, virtualized? And I went, no, bare metal. I can go rent that server. So what are your numbers actually? And so it took them almost 36 hours, but they came back to us with some benchmarks at the event and published right after the event. Yeah, it was an email.
They came out about.
Oh no, that's right. It was
about 36
Tuesday
hours before embargo left.
Yeah, it was Tuesday before the Thursday embargo left. That's right.
Tuesday or Wednesday, one of the two. But
yeah. We got an email with some updated graphs that compared it to 288 core Sierra Forest. And what's really funny is it's the same uplift that they were touting for their single core. They said, yeah, roughly 17% uplift from 288 Sierra to 288 Clearwater. and it's a 17% IPC increase. I went, was that so hard?
The issue is 17%. Granted, that wasn't ISO TDP, which also bugged me.
Mm-hmm.
That was at 450 watts, not 500, which
Mm-hmm.
they showed 500. But I'll leave that off. I'll just say 20%.
Right.
Is that enough? Considering that it's launching in H126.
Right. There are some customers who will buy it. Just like AMD in the dark days of Opteron. Opteron still had 3% of the market. I'm talking like 2015. Opteron still sold to very select clients. There's still a place for any Intel or any AMD product that exists. If a product exists, it's probably selling. And as much as we in the media tend to be down on Intel, because Intel is down 50% from their high watermark, Intel still sells 48% of server parts by money. They still account for 48% of server revenue as far as CPU, not data center.
Yeah. The thing is, well, so I know what AMD said was that they're 52% of new deployments in hyperscalers.
Right.
That doesn't mean that Intel's the other 48%. Because you have to remember, AWS, Azure, and Google all have their own in-house CPUs.
Yes, they do.
And Graviton's big.
Graviton's big, but it's still not x86 big.
No, but it's...
Graviton is S3 big.
Okay. So I need to address a comment in chat right now.
Sure.
Michael Sutherland says, Tom's Hardware in AMD in early talks to make chips at Intel Foundry. And then he quotes the article, quote, Intel and AMD did not respond with requests for comment from Tom's Hardware in time for publication. Yeah, that timeline was less than an hour.
Okay.
No. You don't put that comment in there when you've only given the company an hour to respond.
Right. I will also...
Sorry, that just bothers my
it does.
My journalism brain.
I have a lot of people that I can text, and what I can also tell you is we may have been having lunch all together.
We may have just got out of the fab.
We just got out of the fab, and we were all sitting around having lunch. Okay. When that news came across, all of us started getting pings, and we're like, "What the hell is going on?" Oh, AMD supposedly in talks with Intel to manufacture chips for blah blah blah, and one person around the table, not mentioning any names, went, "Hold on."
Yeah, he did that, and then I think two other people.
Yeah, and a couple
did the same thing.
But this one particular person that I would go, he knows who to text.
Yeah.
He has them in their phone. I guarantee it. He goes, and then less than 30 seconds later, picks up his phone and goes, yeah, absolutely zero truth to that.
So we were having this argument about what could AMD fab at Intel. There's one product that they would fab at Intel, and it's FPGAs for the United States military. That's it. I know you guys are saying Southbridge chips or IO dies. The issue is Intel. Do you remember what Horse Creek is?
Horse Creek, remind me.
The Sci5 P550 dev board from circa 2021, 2022 that was fabbed on Intel 4 or 3. I can't remember if it's 4 or 3.
I have one over on that desk. Okay, go.
Um, you, I'd be surprised if you had Horse Creek.
I have a sci-fi SBC board over there.
But that's not
not Horse Creek. Okay.
Yeah, it's not Horse Creek because it never formally launched.
Gotcha.
I do know one person that has it.
Gotcha.
But regardless, there were issues with that product that were almost completely Intel, that was on Intel with regard to its I/O.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very poorly kept secret in the industry. If I was AMD, I wouldn't trust Intel with anything I/O until somebody else can prove that they can do it.
Yeah.
And for Southbridges, you can just go to Samsung like Intel does.
Yeah. Here's the other thing. And I brought this up in my video, and I made a direct point about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I also wanted to imply the opposite circumstance. You're Intel. It's 2023. Your fabs are not producing 5 nanometer parts in scale that you need them to, in the yields that you need them to.
Mm-hmm.
You, tail between your legs, approach TSMC and say, can you please make our Arrow Lake chips for us?
Mm-hmm.
You, as a company that designs your own silicon and owns your own fabs, had to approach TSMC, give up 100% of your trade secrets behind how you design chips to have your direct competitor in a field build your chips for you.
Mm-hmm.
That is not an enviable position.
No.
And I said exactly that. I said it is... I didn't use like really accusatory or embarrassing language, but you as a company did not have the capacity to build your own chips, even though you have a facility which their only job is to build those chips. You failed. You had to then give your IP to a direct competitor for them to build them for you. That's not a position any company wants to be in. Does anyone really think AMD or NVIDIA wants to hand over their direct IP to Intel to fabricate for them?
So
I understand there'd be protections in place. There'd be agreements. There'd be contracts. There'd be blah, blah, hold harmless. There'd be a whole bunch of legalese behind any contracts and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think AMD wants Intel to manufacture their brand new 2 nanometer EPYC CPUs, chiplets, dies, whatever? No. Under no circumstance does AMD want that. Under no circumstances does NVIDIA want that.
NVIDIA probably cares less than AMD. Not saying that they don't care,
right?
But they probably care less than AMD.
Intel is less of a competitor to NVIDIA than AMD is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Currently, the two rivalries are Intel and AMD, and then NVIDIA and AMD.
Correct. Yeah.
And
I know NVIDIA just bought 5% of Intel. Like, I know they're a stakeholder now. That means literally nothing.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, this was another thing that...
Sorry. Rev says, you're Intel. It's 2023. Do you know where your kids are?
Do you know... Okay, this also kind of... I texted you about this, and I said the code name for it. why I still don't understand why they didn't cover it at
Okay.
ITT.
Okay.
Do you want to explain this one?
Can I say the code name?
Yeah, it's public. It's all public.
Crescent Island.
Yep.
What about Crescent Island, Cheese?
Why the bleep did you not cover it at ITT? Why did you wait 2 weeks to go cover it at OCP?
For the same reason that Intel covered Clearwater Forest at Hot Chips and then invited us all down to add one number to their graph at their tech tour.
I guess. Yeah.
Which was the 1.9x, which was also disingenuous because they didn't compare it to their 288 core.
Yeah, and then the thing that really got me was the Intel use was completely overshadowed by AMD showing off Helios, which is their Rubin 72 NVL 72 competitor.
Right.
So it was completely overshadowed anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why didn't you talk about this at ITT?
Right. Yeah.
Frustrating.
Janiv says, if I understood Jeff's vid, it seems that even though Panther Lake splits the die, the benefits to doing so isn't going to pay dividends. And yeah, the main point of my video, from my perspective, as an outsider with no engineering degree, is I've seen multiple companies do some pretty dramatic turnarounds in the tech space. We've seen Apple come back to Steve Jobs come back to Apple in 1997 and slap the board of directors across the face simultaneously and say, why are you making 700 individual products in your stores? We need to make 3 products and we need to make them really well. And when you make those up to the standards that you think you can, I'll let you make a 4th. And that's kind of how they turned around Apple. And that's why Apple is the juggernaut they are today, is literally that mentality. Is if you can't do one thing right, you shouldn't be doing 2 things half-assed. And so stop trying to do that. We've seen AMD in 2011 release Bulldozer and get absolutely creamed with the release of Sandy Bridge. And then they released Piledriver and got absolutely creamed with the release of Ivy Bridge. And it was very clear that AMD was not going to be competitive on their current trajectory. And so AMD stopped releasing products for 5 years entirely to do a full reset, a full ground zero, base level out rebuild of their entire architecture plan to release Zen in 2017. And when Zen released, it wasn't competitive in every market. It was competitive in one market. It was high-end desktop. They said, we want this market and we want to eliminate Intel from that market. We want to sell what Intel is selling for $1,000 for $399 with 5% of a hang up for like individual features or speed. But we're gonna make that argument. And then from there they started building into other markets and figured out how to expand. But the basis of AMD is, especially after Zen 2 launched, and that's why I brought Zen 2 up specifically in my video, is for a time, AMD was making 3 pieces of silicon, not including graphics. 3 pieces of CPU silicon. They made 1 compute chiplet, an 8-core chiplet, that could also be binned down to 6 or 4. And they made 2 I.O. dies, 1 for desktop and 1 for server. And what they did is they put them into, they said, our allocation at TSMC for this quarter, we're going to make 80% CPU chiplets, and we're going to make 10% each wafers of I.O. dies. And that's our allocation.
They didn't make I.O. dies at TSMC until Zen 4.
Oh, that's right. That was GF, wasn't it?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so 100% of our allocation to TSMC is 1 fucking part. My point to Intel was, it's a brilliant strategy to decentralize, to segment up your CPU into multiple components. So this is Panther Lake. This is the Panther Lake model that we were given. And actually, it's a pretty accurate model because they have, this is the large model. It has a compute die, it has an IO die, it has a graphics die, and then it also has 2 filler tiles, which I'm assuming are just cheaper Lego.
It's just unpatterned silicon.
Right. So there we go. There's Panther Lake as it exists with the actual active silicon. Okay?
Yes.
Here's the issue. Is unlike AMD, and this was my entire point, was Intel is making 2 compute dies and 2 graphics dies and 2 system controller IO whatever dies that take up 3 different areas on a PCB, which require 3 different base tiles, 3 different PCB designs, and the individual tiles are not reusable on any other product. You've just designed 12 pieces of silicon, 3 base tiles, and 3 PCBs to release 1 piece. There's more engineering considerations in this one product than AMD's entire product stack top to bottom.
I'm pretty sure AMD would disagree with you on that. But
a little bit. I know I'm being like a little pedantic in that, but AMD still only makes 3 compute chiplets. They make 1 for desktop, 1 for mobile. The desktop one goes on to server, and then they also make an X3D. Sorry, 4 compute chiplets. There's also Zen 5C.
So technically the server one, the Vcache die is the same, is functional, nearly the same as the standard die.
Right.
It is slightly different because there's a metal layer change, but nah.
Right. It is such a minor respin.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was my overriding point, is Intel has done all of the work to get the yields up to where they need to be within their own fab process, making smaller components and no longer giant monolithic dies. But then those dies cannot be used in multiple ways. Instead, there's multiple puzzles that they can fit into, but only for those bespoke products.
So the only tile on any of these products that is reused between multiple different parts is actually found on Clearwater Forest,
it's the IO
Forest,
tile.
and Granite Rapid. God damn it. I just saw a message about AMD GNR.
Granite Rapids.
Yeah. People are gonna make fun of that for another 12 months. Yeah, but the IO tile. Which interestingly enough is not the only tile in the Xeon 6 lineup.
Right.
There's actually a second one for Granite Rapids D, which is the embedded networking Granite Rapids.
Yeah, it's the embedded soldered on BGA chiplet.
Yes. And it's
is
meant for edge.
Yeah, exactly. So my point wasn't that Intel isn't doing the best to get the best yields. My point was that Intel is designing themselves into a position where they've created 12 pieces of silicon for their one mobile part, whereas AMD, for more or less, makes 10 pieces of silicon for their entire CPU product stack and reuses them in multiple ways. But this Panther Lake compute die goes onto Panther Lake, and that's it. Why not take a 12 compute tile off of Clearwater and turn that into a mobile chip? Like, why? Why not?
Yeah.
I don't understand the added complexity of, by the time Intel is all said and done announcing their 2026 CPU lineup, there's going to be 40 pieces of silicon that they're manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
That was my
In
overriding point.
Intel's strategy, I'll be honest, I don't fully understand it.
Yeah.
Um,
All the benefits of tiling, but all the complexities of monolithic assembly. Like, and none of the
yeah,
benefits of tiling at the same time.
yeah, it's frustrating. What's funny was I was on a call with a couple high school friends of mine, and they were
Uh,
asking me these very questions, and I got frustrated. Like I got loud because and they're like, "Did Intel like they were joking? Did Intel personally hurt you?" And I'm like, "No, it's just I know that they could do better, and it feels like they
yes.
are
Yes.
trying to do all these admittedly very interesting things for all the wrong reasons."
Yeah. That was exactly kind of the point that I was trying to dial into as well. Is I even said at the end of this video, this is not an Intel hit piece. This is not an anti-Intel thing. I'm actually very impressed with the engineering that has gone into these parts, and I wish them nothing but success. Because success for Intel means better results for us as consumers or data center users or whatever else. I don't wish ill on any company. I want every company to put out their best part at the best price. That is my end goal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and hold on, I have to pull up this comment because they missed the plot entirely. Do I detect an anti-Intel bias? And I said, being critical of decisions that make them less competitive and more expensive isn't a bias. I said at the end of the video, I want them and every other vendor to put out the best products they can because that's what's best for the consumer. And the consumer's who I care about. I don't care about Intel. I don't care about AMD. I want them to be their best. And I will push them to be their best because that's what the consumers deserve. And they said, no, you stretched the facts to put Intel in the worst possible light. I think Intel did that to themselves.
Yeah. Yep.
I said I don't know if these are products that are meant for consumers and meant to fill the need that consumers have right now, or even data centers or hyperscalers or whatever else. I don't know that that's why these products exist or that's why they exist in the form that they are. I think these were more engineering showcases to boost up their foundry business because their foundry business in the long term could be more profitable if they can get customers to start producing silicon with them. I think that's the purpose for these chips. But if Intel wasn't confident enough, if Intel was out making CPUs from TSMC, do you think anyone would buy from Intel Foundry?
That's the issue.
That's the problem. And you know what's happened the last 2 years? Intel has been outsourcing their CPU and GPU production to TSMC because they couldn't do it in-house. Do you think anyone has confidence in Intel Foundry?
No.
That's the point. I think these are moderately competitive products, but certainly not. I think these are moderately competitive products for the 4-week gap between Intel releasing them and AMD announcing something new.
So speaking
Which
of
is exactly
that,
what I said of Xeon 6.
Now, I know you don't really keep up with the AI space very much.
Yeah.
However, a week or so ago, there was the big, huge announcement of Oracle deploying 50,000 Helioses.
Mm-hmm.
If you read that PR, it said that the cluster would be available in Q3 26,
Uh-huh.
which implies that they're going to be delivering it in Q2 26.
Right.
You
Which
know what's part of Helios, Jeff? Venice. Zen 6 Epic.
Yes, okay.
Do you know when that product probably has to be done in order to start shipping to Oracle? And is honestly probably going to be announced at CES? Zen 6 Epic.
I I didn't think Zen 6 Epic was going to be announced until like May.
Well, why else would Lisa be taking the keynote at CES? Like what else is she like think
All
about
right,
it.
you're putting down some pretty compelling arguments.
Yeah, I fully suspect that AMD's just gonna go at the CES keynote. Here's Zen 6 Epic. Here's
Right.
the SKU list. You can expect units on shelves by April or May.
I was to say April. Yeah.
Okay, great. And this whole thing has been completely preempted.
Yep. And I pointed that out in my video as well. And I pointed this out in my Xeon 6 review, my 6980p review. I said, is Intel back? Intel's back if you're competing with Genoa. However, Turin just dropped, and they gave you 5 gigahertz on all cores, and you're playing with 3.6 gigahertz on the same core count, but across 3 NUMA nodes instead of scaled together with Infinity Fabric. Yeah, you're behind the 8-ball a little bit here. And then my general impression of Clearwater Forest was, hey, that's great. 288 cores on your max SKU, which is still probably, what, $12,000, $14,000 individual part. Yeah, that's great if you're competing against Sienna. You're not competing against Sienna. You're competing against Zen 6C.
Yeah, it's...
Which, by the way, has already been alluded to have 256 cores and 512 threads because they didn't eliminate
That's
SMT.
not alluded, that's confirmed by AMD themselves.
Yes.
And it's going to have 1.6 terabytes of memory and 1.7x of performance of the 9965.
Correct.
Which makes the 17% number that Intel put forward look incredibly weak, considering that AMD isn't doubling the core count. Makes the 1.9x number look weak because AMD isn't doubling core count.
They're adding 1/3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Has it also been confirmed PCIe 7?
6.
Okay. Because they also mentioned...
That was confirmed.
Yeah, I pulled their slide down, and it was 2x GPU bandwidth, which means, okay, they're going up a PCIe revision. I couldn't remember which one we were going to. If PCIe 6 was going to be the SOCAM of this generation. But SOCAM 2 just got announced, so hey. Or just got ratified.
Yeah. It's... Intel... I don't know. If this... Here's the thing. If this had launched had launched at ITT, full specs, you could buy it now, this would have a place. But this isn't launching until next year.
The numbers we heard is volume available late January. I think is the phrase that we can say.
I'm honestly even doubting that.
It's going to be close. I think Q1 for sure, but we were told sampling January.
Mm-hmm.
For both parts, for Clearwater and Panther Lake. Sampling January.
So I think I can say that for Panther Lake, definitely, we should hopefully, cross your fingers, be getting review samples after CES,
Right.
with units likely on shelves by late February, early March.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, in time for Q2 in mass. Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's I'm not anti-Intel. In fact, the reason I'm critical of them is I want them to succeed. I want them to not make products that are hamstrung from the start. I want them to not be wasting money in production and engineering costs when there is a path laid out a la AMD chiplets of let's produce one piece of silicon and use it 30 different ways instead of producing 30 pieces of silicon for 30 different SKUs.
Yeah.
The very good path to scalability with your products has been laid out and is very well trodden over the last couple of decades. And when I see Intel doubling down on we're going to be the best engineering and assembly firm in the market, I went, yeah, but the problem is you're producing a third-rate product by doing that. And I understand I don't have a CPU engineering degree. I understand that, but I do understand manufacturing, logistics, sales, shipping, all that other stuff that comes into play that still applies here.
Yeah, so sort of coming back to that code name that I gave you, Crescent Island, you have a little bit more info about it.
Leave
wait,
it.
what?
Leave it.
I'm confused.
Leave it. Crescent
Okay.
Island.
Yeah, Crescent Island. We have a little bit more information about that.
Sounds like a
now.
Diddy Kong racing track.
I was actually thinking Mario Kart racing track, but yeah, that works too.
No, what? Hold on. There was a Diddy Kong. I want to say Crescent Island was a Diddy Kong racing track. I swear. Crescent Island.
Yeah. Nice.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Crescent Island.
Yes. So
there we go.
Oh my god, that's brilliant. So, Crescent Island, which is Intel, which is going to be an Intel GPU, a DGPU, just like GB 202 or NAVI 48. So it on its own PCB with its own silicon. The information that we got from Intel was quite sparse. We got what looked like a rendered die shot.
Yeah.
Let
me see if I can pull any of that up.
We got that it's XE3P, which is the successor IP to Panther Lake's XE3.
It's Ponte Vecchio. Hold on. What the heck? So we got a render of the card.
HPC wire.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find something real quick.
I was just looking for the die shot. Here we go. Okay.
No. That's not it.
XEC3 or XE3P.
No, that's not. Give me a moment.
Here you go. There it is.
Yes, there it is.
Yeah, there's the
Okay.
slide.
Sorry, Zoom is being really dumb and it keeps zooming in on like people's faces. And I don't know how to stop that, so I have to
Awesome.
like rely on uh yeah, but that's a die shot. So we know that's XE3P. It supports FP4 all the way up to FP64. What rates were not said. And it uses LPDDR5X. And it has 160 gigs of VRAM on board.
I don't hate that.
So what we were able to glean from the render was that it is likely a 640-bit LPDDR bus, likely running at LPDDR 9600.
Yeah.
So nice. Which would give it a total bandwidth of, I had it, where's my, oh, my notebook. It's in my bag. Doesn't matter. Gives 768 gigabytes of memory bandwidth.
Yeah.
And it looks like that there's 32 Xe cores on board. Now, here's where I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna do some speculation.
Sure.
Jeff. Okay.
I love speculation.
So
especially on this show.
Let me grab my notebook real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. By the way, I do legitimately keep notes.
Oh yeah.
For anyone who doubts that I keep notes.
For anyone who doubts why he buys Lamy pens, that is why he buys Lamy pens.
Yes. So, assuming 32 Xe cores of Xe3P, if you zoom in and you realign it and all that, what you can see is that in an Xe core, there appears to be 12 subblocks. Now, in a Xe core, there is what used to be known as an EU, now known as a XVE. And in prior generations, there were 8 XVEs per Xe core. These XVEs, or EUs, as I'll refer to them from now on, were 8 SIMD 16 units. This is going to be equivalent to a essentially the EU was equivalent to a CU in an RDNA architecture.
Okay.
These were where the SIMD units, essentially it's kind of hard to explain. It's basically the smallest.
It's the smallest division
unit
of whatever the core type is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Effectively, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And each Xe core had 8 EUs.
Okay.
And what you need to keep so each what's it? God, now I'm forgetting my own numbers. My brain is all over the place. Regardless, these were SIMD 16 units. What does this mean? SIMD 16 means that you can run 16 instructions at the same time. 32-bit instructions is usually the standard here.
Mm-hmm.
AMD and NVIDIA are SIMD 32. Some others are different, but we're not going to go there for now.
Mm-hmm.
If you looked at the Panther Lake graphics slide, there was one chart, which you probably remember, with the 2 different lines with latency.
Yeah.
For the frame time. And if you looked at the far right bar with the biggest sort of reduction. It said SIMD32. Now, it's been hinted at in drivers, along with in presentations, that Intel's likely going to move to SIMD32 for their units.
Yeah.
So the 12 subblocks could either be showing essentially two SIMD16 units as a SIMD32 unit, which in this case would make it 6 EUs to each Xe core, or potentially Intel has made it 12 EUs, which are SIMD32 in each EU. We don't know which one, but some speculation says that if it is what I'll refer to as version 1, or SIMD32 with 16 with 6 EUs per Xe core, that would give it the rough compute capability as the 5080. If it is version 2 with 12 EUs per Xe core, then the equivalent, the rough, assuming 2.5 gigahertz,
Yeah.
the rough compute capability would be up there with about the 5090.
Yeah, which does track with...
The thing here is twofold.
Yeah.
This is not competing with either of those.
Right.
This is competing with, 1, the Pro version, and 2, the next generation, because this is sampling in H.226.
Right, exactly.
And secondly, the compute numbers are, if this is accurate, are quite nice. However, the flops per bit number, or the compute per memory available number, is very, very high, which is not, you want a low flops per bit.
Yeah.
For most workloads. ML is a bit different, but even here, your bottleneck is more than likely going to be, could they want to use this for prefill, which is more compute heavy than memory bandwidth heavy.
Yeah.
But with only 768 gigabytes per second of memory bandwidth, that's not a lot when we're talking about cards with 2 terabytes.
Yeah.
Or even near as 1 terabyte of bandwidth.
Yeah.
And that's just the current cards, not what's coming up next.
Yeah. I will say, the announcement of Crescent Island and the capabilities of their high-end SKUs does track a lot with some of the rumors that we've been hearing between Battle Mage architecture and Celestial architecture, as far as why don't we have big Battle Mage yet? Where is our B770? Where is, where's big Battle Mage at? Big Battle Mage isn't here because Celestial's on its heels, and it's going to be here way sooner than Intel thought it was going to be, because it's ahead of its development process, which is weird to hear out of Intel. But also, I mean, for all intents and purposes, potentially competitive with Blackwell. Just from numbers that you're getting. Obviously, there's a lot more that goes into that. Speaking from like graphics API, there's a lot more that goes into that. But raw compute power, if we're talking RTX 5080/5090 level performance, depending on instruction sets and whatnot, that's good company to be in. Which is why I think Intel has been really hesitant to release big Battle Mage.
So
and I know I'm conflating AI with GPU and things like that, but
yeah. So what? here's the thing. With this announcement of what Intel is already put on the slide is what Intel puts on the slide is Celestial. I would not release another Battle Mage product in the DGPU space.
Right.
Which likely means that B770 is dead.
Right. And I mean, you and I kind of had that information unofficially, like back in December.
Yeah.
That big Battle Mage was never going to make an appearance because Celestial was so good and on track.
The thing is, you're launching an H226.
Right.
Well, no, you're sampling an H226. You're launching H127.
Right.
You're 2.5 years without a main thing.
Right. But do you think NVIDIA has another doubling in them for performance per watt? Because from Ampere to Ada, they almost doubled their performance per watt. I don't necessarily see that happening again. With Blackwell, it was almost flat. It's just the amperage went up.
So the thing is, in terms of AI, what matters, Yocto and I would disagree, but from all the data that I have, and I can only speak to that data.
It's fighting words. I like it.
What matters most is memory bandwidth.
I agree.
So
I said, does
what's going to matter more?
I said, does NVIDIA have another doubling in them? And Jay in the chat says, I just yelled, nope, involuntarily out loud.
That's funny.
Right. Like, I don't know. Like, I think.
Yeah, see, Yocto's like, this is an argument that he and I have. We both agree to disagree on this.
Intel with Celestial is going to be late. It's going to be late for their prime opportunity. However, I don't think they're going to be too late to still make an impact on multiple markets. I think they're still going to be good enough and competitive within certain spaces, especially with what we've seen. And again, let's talk graphics for a second. Let's talk AMD, NVIDIA.
The thing is that graphics is harder to project.
It is harder to project, but it's still based on the same base silicon.
It's so yes, but no. Thing is, so that brings into stuff like the raster pipeline, like the ROCs, the TMUs, stuff like that.
Right.
And look at the 5080 versus the 5090. In compute, the 5090 absolutely rips across the 5080.
Yeah.
But in raster applications, the 5080 while behind can give the 59 can get close.
Yeah.
And that's a function of all the different raster pipelines and all that.
Right.
Which is why I'm saying it's harder to determine that.
Right.
That is going to be a sort of a lot harder to project out.
Yeah, you're looking FP4, FP8. Yeah, it's about on track with between a 5080 and 5090 as far as Celestial goes. That doesn't necessarily mean that Intel's going to put out a 5080 graphics competitor in late 26. And I get that. But let's say they put out a 5080 competitor. Let's say top of their line. They put out an RTX 5080 competitor for $500 in Q4 of 26. Is that good enough? Is that good enough to compete? Is that good enough to shake up a market?
I'll be honest, I don't know. Possibly.
Right.
But not in the compute space.
Not in the compute space. Right.
And even in the graphics space, people harp on about, oh, more VRAM, more VRAM, more VRAM.
Those are gamers who don't understand. Those are gamers who don't understand that there's only like 4 titles that take more than 12 gigs, let alone 16.
Yeah, so it's
Sorry.
I don't know. But sorry, if I, like Jeff said, I wasn't quite prepared for this, so I don't have any my notes.
That's
here.
totally fine. Yeah.
I've been sort of winging it, and my winging ability is starting to hit the limit here on this topic.
Which is great because it's 8:05, which means we can sign off and go drink in the after party.
I would like to talk about.
Yes.
Quick. And okay, we have been. Some people would say bashing Intel.
Oh, we're getting into Cheese's rant. Oh,
yes.
Yeah, I got to take a step back here.
Who like rants? You're gonna get a rant. You're gonna get a cheese rant. At least Intel delivers products, right? This company, if you'd like to flash.
Are you ready for the slide? Okay, here we go.
Yes.
There we go. We all saw this slide this week.
Yeah. So this
256 core AI chiplet. It seeks $500 million in investment dollars.
So this company has been promising the moon on a stick for over 7 years now.
I was hoping that my rant alert would still work, so I had a red alert thing, but the movie is long gone. So,
this company, codename Tachyon, has been promising the moon for 7+ years.
Mm-hmm.
They made a product. They showed off their architecture at Hot Chips 2018, which was this weird VLIW architecture that honestly probably never really would have worked. It was very Itanium. So they shelved that.
The first 64-bit architecture.
It wasn't. It was from Intel, but it wasn't the first 64-bit architecture.
This is also true.
Power would like to have a word with you.
Yes.
But no, so brain. But no, so this company shelved that circa 2021 and has now moved to a more standard out of order like architecture.
Mm-hmm.
But they keep promising outrageous claims like
we'll probably ship a product in 2027.
well, not just that. Like they were they're still promising that they're going to be faster than Turing in spec, like 10x faster than Blackwell in AI.
Yeah.
And none of their numbers make any bloody sense. It's all just paper. Okay? And I asked them at Supercomputing 23, when will you have silicon? Mm-hmm. I was told that we will have silicon in 2024. I then asked at Supercomputing 24, when will you have silicon? Mm-hmm. And I was told 2025.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask at Supercomputing 25, when will you have silicon?
Well, now they're saying 2027. They're another year out.
That's credit to Anton who did this whole piece. That's right. Anton's estimation.
Right.
Because they haven't taped out yet. They have not finalized their design. Which means that if you follow a very, very aggressive tape out schedule, maybe you could hit 27.
Well,
maybe.
Intel is looking for customers right now.
They're as far as I know, they're on TSMC uh N3, I believe.
Okay. Well, maybe they can use all
Or
those
at least
old.
what they're claiming.
Maybe they can use all the old Meteor Lake EUV machines.
But my whole rant here is, why are you giving this company 220 million euros? Why?
Yeah.
Like, go buy stuff from Tenswart, Cerebrus, Grok,
Yeah.
Samba Nova. One of those companies, you'll at least get.
By the way, Cheese and I have been in their corporate headquarters of all the companies that he just listed and held silicon.
Yeah, like why? And it's not just the 220 million euro investment. It's also a 500 million USD purchase order.
Right.
Okay, at best, what you're going to get are AMD FPGAs.
Yeah.
That's what you'll get from this company.
That feels like what this is.
Like, no, that's what they use for their dev boards. Is ultra scale plus VP or VU something. I don't keep track of FPGAs as much as I probably should.
Yeah.
But just why are you giving this company money?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, Jay, this is all very funny. Anyway, I look forward to visiting the hacking booth at SC. I am going to have Owen record my interaction with Hackium because I think it will be hilarious.
I think that'll be good video.
Also, Jay, it's a C, not a K. Come on. That's the beach my head.
All right, a couple super chats. Jay sends over $5. Only able to join now, but glad we're still deep into the tech stuff. Yeah, we got deep tonight into some silicon esoterica. And Green chimes into the $5. Thank you very much, Green. Time to use 4 2GB vGPU profiles for lossless frame gen on 4x pass-through GPUs. It's not a stupid idea if it works. It's still kind of a stupid idea, but just because Cheese is here, I already told Cheese the stupid idea that I want to do with my V100 GPUs, which is 7 direct pass-through V100s and then 7 vGPU V100 pass-throughs for lossless scaling. Why not?
I will haunt you, Jeff.
Why not? It'll work.
I will haunt you.
You don't think a 4GB V100 cut into 8 pieces would be enough for a lossless scaling doubler? Come on, it'll work. It'll totally work. It'll absolutely work. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine.
You're just getting the death stare.
It'll be fine. I know.
But yeah.
And then Zeus sends over $10. Itanium mentioned!
Indeed. Itanium was mentioned.
Yeah, never in a good light, but usually in a light.
Also, Jay, sorry, Cheese. In my defense, I was drunk. You typed that message like 3 minutes before the prior. Like, it are drunk. I am drunk.
Currently am and or not. I can tell you this tag comes with a price, and that price is 14.4%.
Spicy.
Did not taste like that.
Those are the scary beers.
This is how much is left.
Well, I'm basically out of coffee here. So
we're about in the same state, is what you would say.
Yes.
Yeah. Neither of those are acceptable.
No. I need to go see if we have coffee downstairs.
The more I drink this, the more it's just bourbon, but without any kind of burn. Like, it's all of the good caramely, oaky, little bit of dark chocolate mixed in there because this is still a stout, but all of the like really good flavors that you want out of bourbon kind of cranked up to about an 8. But with none of the alcohol burn, or there's no whiskey shake when you're done drinking it. It's just good.
Anyway. I'm out of coffee. You're nearly out of beer.
I'm nearly out of beer. I think that's a good place to end a show.
Indeed.
Thank you all so much for watching episode 405 of Talking Heads. Join us every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer and tech news right here on YouTube. Subscribe to Craft Computing if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to Chips and Cheese, or check out more articles on chipsandcheese.com. Links are all down in the video description. And if you like the content you see on this channel, want to help support us in what we do, consider joining the Patreon. Link is also down in the video description. As a bonus, you'll get exclusive access to my Discord server. You can chat with all the hosts from Talking Heads. That includes George, Tom, myself, Rhett, all the cool people hanging out, and the awesome community that hangs out there throughout the week. Cool. George, anything coming up with you that you wanna plug? Any projects or fun things?
I'll be at Supercomputing.
Yeah, you'll be at Supercomputing. I think I will be at Supercomputing, although I need to see what an airline flight costs, so I'll probably do that tomorrow.
I hope you can get there.
Yeah.
I'll see if you may or may not need to get a hotel room.
Portland and St. Louis are two airports that just like pretend the other doesn't exist, and so hopefully it's not too bad.
Let's see. Well,
I'll figure out my flight later.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, we'll see you next week.